come up with the image of who you are. Be very, very careful if you're a rapper or if you're an R&B singer or a DJ. Pepsi and L'Oreal or any other major brand does not want to associate with someone that's going to be negative, someone that's going to have an article in a paper that said they got arrested, or someone that's going to have an article in a paper that said they didn't pay their taxes, whatever it is. You got to be on the up and up and be a very professional person in the marketplace. Those are some fundamental things when you start out with a brand, and that's also, you have to make sure that you align with what you're doing. For example, if I was a DJ and I was building my brand, I would be very careful with the name again. I would be very careful with the image. And I would probably in Atlanta I would first do my homework, something that's critical that we often don't do. And I would say, who is this car dealership that's doing a lot of advertising, either TV or radio? And I would probably go to that. I'm just thinking this off the top. I would probably go to that car dealership and I say, I'm DJ Matic. Whack name, but how can I be a part of your commercials? How can I be a part of spending on your commercials, somehow having name recognition of that whack name DJ Matic tied to your car dealership? I just wanted to use an example because I know it's difficult because, and I always say this, guys, see, 15 years ago, I was sitting where you are. And I always say that, and I think it's important that people know that. And so I know how it feels when you're getting overwhelmed and it needs to be relevant. So that's why I just wanted to bring it down a notch so that you can get it. And I applaud you because 15 years ago I was, and I asked questions, which is important in seminars like this, and making sure that I network and start building a brand. Everywhere I went, I taught Destiny's Child and Music World and Destiny's Child, and everything I had Destiny's Child and Music World. And I started getting that name out and understanding how corporate America make decisions on who they align themselves with. And it doesn't have to be you starting out. It could be your hair salon. It could be your car dealership. It could be smaller things. You're not going to start out branding with major consumers like L'Oreal or corporations like that. I don't think I ever answered your question, but how do I measure for us and how for us measure for me? You know, it's different because we're at a different level, but for me, I measure, first of all, very, very important, for every one person that either Beyonce or Destiny's Child or Music World or even myself align ourselves with, we probably get 1,000 phone calls and opportunities, and we pass on 999 of those. It has to be the right fix and mix and the right match, first of all. And it has to be the same consumer base that I'm going after. So if I want 18 to 30 females, then I'm going to make sure that brand has the same core 18 to 30 females. So that becomes very important. And I judge success when we put out an album. We have always had a campaign. You saw when Beyonce put out our last album, we had the Pepsi commercial with her girl pulling up and the kid at the gas station playing Crazy in Love. Well, that helped awareness at radio and to the consumer when they had to go through this BS at radio called Call Out. There was recognition to that song. And so we measure that by our album sales, quite frankly. We measure that by the success on our touring. We measure that by the success of our ringtones, which is something everyone out here now has an opportunity, and I'm sure folks will talk about. But at the end of the day, now I measure that because of that big ass check.
Michael doesn't word that marketers come to us, and it would probably be familiar to you all. It's called impressions. It's how many people saw the message that we're trying to deliver. How many people are you going to drive to my website? How many people are we going to convert to a customer? It's about impressions. So your brand is not necessarily who you are, but it's the image of what everybody believes you to be. And marketers want to associate with who is hip, who is relevant, who's going to give them that much of an edge that they can beat their competitor. Right now, we're talking to Colgate-Palmolive, we're talking to Procter & Gamble. They're in the toothpaste body wash wars. How do we get the 12 to 19-year-old black man? What artist is going to help us get over the top? What show should we be at? What artist should be photographed with our executives? Who should be associated with our name? And a lot of times with branding, when they're looking for an artist, as Mr. Knowles says, you're using their marketing dollars, you're using their advertising dollars, whether that be in circulars and your pictures appearing in the newspaper, whether that be end caps in stores, whether that be mobile, whether that be online. There's so many opportunities that you can use their money, and they're using you to reach the consumer that you already have an audience with, that you have impressions with, that people consider you cool and relevant, that it's going to associate with their brand. Not controversial, but somebody that's, hey,